you. The just love you. Oh, you. Oh, God. Thank you for just love you. Oh, you just love you. The joy that is in right down to you. That's the joy that is in right down to you. Yes, this is the dressing up room. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and I will be glad. I will be happy. I will be at peace in this day because God made this day especially for me, especially for me. You got to make that thing personal. When God done did something so amazing, like waking you, just breathing the breath of life in you this morning, not passing you by. Somebody didn't wake up this morning. Somebody was called somebody had to go to the emergency room this morning and not gonna make it out. Not gonna make it out. Not gonna make it out. Something happened to somebody last night, and they're not here to say good morning. So this is the day that the Lord has made, and I'm just gonna rejoice in it if I have to do it all by myself. If I have to do it all by myself, I I'll do it all by myself. Good morning, Shirley. Good morning, Shirley. Good morning. And good morning to the people that's listening. Good morning to you as well. And I must issue uh, um, an apology. I must ask you to forgive me for not showing up yesterday. How dare I not show up when there were others that did show up? When I did wake up, I put something on my community. Good morning, Nikki. I put something on my community board. I didn't really go into details as to what had happened, and I'm still not going to go all the way into details about what had happened. But what had happened was, good morning, Sean. Good morning. What had happened was, let me tell you, I went to bed early. My sleeping pattern is off. So what I am trying to do by 10 o'clock, no later than 11, I want to be asleep. And by these days being so long, you know, um, and not wanting to take a nap, but sometimes I find myself just taking a nap. And when I take a nap and when I do lay back down to go to sleep, I'll sleep and then I wake up, then I'm up for hours, and then I'm fall back to sleep thinking that I will wake back up. I think I might need to have to use my alarm because normally I can just wake up. But Tuesday morning, I was like up around 1:04. I looked at the clock, it was 1:45. So I listened to a story. For some reason, my spirit was uneasy, and I wasn't worried about. Well, I got to take Ruby in today about my brakes. So I got to take her to the mechanic, and that's over in Lehigh. So I got to drive, I got to drive about 15, 20 miles. Oh, yeah. Well, it don't seem that long, but I got to drive from where I live to go to where my mom live to let the mechanic look at my car to see what's going on about these brakes, right? So then I'm saying, Lord, you know what? If it ain't one thing, it's always something. But however, Ruby is my mode of transportation. So I got to keep her engine running, just like I got to keep my body moving. So, and I was and not worried about it, but I was fretting about it. Well, Lord, this, and well, Lord, I ain't got this, and well, Lord, I ain't got that, and Lord, how I'm gonna do this, and Lord, how I'm gonna do that. And so I'm talking to the right person. I'm talking to God about it. And then it just started weighing on me. It just weighed on me, just weighed on me, just weighed on me, just weighed on me. So I did get in my bed and take a nap Monday. And Tuesday morning, I woke up early, like 1:45, as I said. I woke up 1:45, and I tried to listen to a story um, on my pocket radio. I love them little stupid stories, but I love them. And I couldn't really concentrate on the story, and I found myself start to drift off. So I said, okay, I turn this off and I go to sleep. So I tried to sleep and I still could not fall back to sleep. So I picked up my phone and I started playing little games on my phone. And after a while, I got tired. I said, "Ooh, I need to go to sleep." So now this is about 4:55. So that's 5 minutes to 5. So I said, I'm just gonna lay here for maybe an hour. I'm gonna lay here for an hour. And I'm gonna sleep for an hour. And I know I'll wait by 6 o'clock, 6:30, I'll be up. So let me tell y'all, I went to sleep. I went to sleep and about what time? About 9. I get a phone by but around 8, 9, something like that. I get a phone call and I'm going, you got that morning voice. Good morning, Sean. You have that morning voice. Hello. Hello. Marita, wake up. Wake up. Wake up. And I said, huh? Wake up. Wake up. And I was what? Marita, wake up. And I'm waking up and the caller began to talk. I said, well, what that happened now? And so she telling me what's going on. And I said, oh, God. Oh. And so now she's frantic. And when she's the Guta, good morning. And she's frantic. And I'm trying to register what she done said. And she said, I just don't want nothing to be to happen. And I said, well, wait a minute. Then I said it again. What the happened now? So she's good morning, AKA. Then she's telling me, morning. What kind of greeting is that, girl? What you going through this morning? Are you not feeling well this morning? I'm glad you're here, and I'm pretty sure it was hard getting here this morning, but whatever the case may be, I am glad to see you here this morning, and I thank you for being here this morning. And I thank everybody for being here who dropped down, who's here to say good morning. I thank you to the people that's listening. Before I get any further, please hit that like and share button. And if you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe to the channel, please. And thank you. The neck injury is got my TM. Okay, honey. Okay, we pray for relief from that headache. We pray for release from that relief from that pain that the neck injury is causing. Father God, you said whatever we bind up on earth, you're binding up in heaven. So we're binding up this pain that our dear sister, AKA, is experiencing right now, Father God. We're not claiming it. We're claiming healing, a miraculous healing in the name of your son, Jesus Christ. And we do, and I say thank you, and we all say thank you. So anyway, she was kind of frantic. And so I'm trying to register what she's saying. And then I'm trying to process my feelings about what she said. And in my spirit, I got this going on about my car, and I'm getting I'm not getting anxious, but it is slowly creeping up on me now. My granddaughter will be turning 18 next week. Next Wednesday. Next Wednesday at 4 o'clock, my granddaughter will be officially 18 years old. And she'll be graduating from school May 20th, May 17th, 18th, 19th. Yeah, May 19th. Mm, I'm looking at April. Yeah, May 19th, she'll be graduating from school. August, she'll be leaving to go to somebody college. And I'm trying to process all of that. So when other stuff start piling up on me and stuff like that, and that phone call just took me out yesterday. It just took me out. However, I couldn't get myself all discombobulated because I had to calm her down. And she was working on her end, and I'm working on my end. And finally, um, we reached who we needed to reach, and found out what was said wasn't true. It was not true. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. At the age that I am, and at the age of a lot of you are, mind the company that you keep. Mind the company that you keep. And when things come to you, consider the source that it's coming from. Look at the heart of where it's coming from. Then separate yourself from it, because as I always said, if it's not adding and multiplying to you, that's right, aka take it with a grain of salt. If it's not adding or multiplying, it's subtracting and dividing. And and I think that was so despicable of what happened yesterday. And to the person that it happened to, I think it was so despicable. I think the person is ignorant. I think the person has no moral. Her character, the person character, I can, um, she has no moral, no ethic, just uncouth, just an uncouth individual, just an uncouth individual. And I thought about this as the day went on yesterday. And I'm gonna tell you something. God gives God gives us life. We are not in a position that we can take anybody's life, nor we can't take our who am I to take my own life? Who am I to take someone else's life? And when you speak on a person, when you lie on a person, one day I was living with my mom at this time. And when I walk in, when I come, usually when everybody came in the house from work, from school, wherever they were, just me and my daughter at my mom's house. So whenever we come home, we always go into her bedroom. And I just say, well, hey, old lady, how your day was? And, sit there and conversate with her for a while. So one day I just walked one Friday, it was on a Friday, and I walked into her room. No, I had been out somewhere. I was off, and I had came back home, and I went in her room to let her know it was me that walked, that came through the garage, opened the garage and came through the garage. And she said, "Oh, here Maritha is now." My cousin who passed away, she was on the phone with my mom she was on the phone with my mom, and she was saying, "Well, why y'all didn't tell me that Maritha had, that Maritha had passed away? I had just read it in the somebody was telling me that Maritha had passed away, and then I'm looking, and my mama said, no, here Maritha is right here." She said, and it was somebody name. It wasn't the name. I don't know what the name was, Mayretha or whatever the name was, but it had the spelling almost looked the same, but and it had the same last name. And my mama said, "No, here she is, right here." People will kill you physically. They would try to you do kill you physically. They would try to unalive you mentally, and then they would just going out spreading lies. They would try to um kill your character, to damage your character and stuff like that. So you have to start looking at the company that you keep, because everybody you call friend ain't friending you back. It's not friending you back. Because I don't care how long you've been friends with somebody. And you can find out just how much a friend that friend was to you. Look at husband and wives who've been married 20, 30, 40 years, and they get divorced. And you say, well, and the wife will say, I just didn't figure he would do that. I didn't understand. I don't understand. I don't know why he would do that. And you've been married to this person for 40 years. It's people who 60, 70 years old getting divorced, and they've been with a person from the time they was in middle school to 3 kids and 39 grandchildren later. And just said, I could never imagine him doing that. So how good do you know the person that you call a friend? And even with friends, I have some good friends, the people that I do call friends, but I'm not telling them everything. I don't tell them everything. It's some things you got to keep secret. It's some things that you got to keep between you and God. You can't tell everybody everything, because when you tell everybody everything, you don't know actually who it's going to come from. And you don't know, you know the type of person that you are. Like I told y'all before, I have two best friends in the whole world. They done passed on, been dead for, been dead for over 5 years now. Been dead for a little minute. They took a lot of things I said to the grave. They took a lot of things I did to the grave. We made a vow never to talk about each other to each other, and never talk about never talk about each other to somebody else. And if we had an issue in our little circle, we got to the bottom of it and we straightened that out, because I valued their friendship and they valued my friendship. And then when we did like separate and like kind of grow up and go on our own, one of them still doing the same. One of them passed away first. My friend Cooter, she passed away first. And she was still kind of dibbling, dabbling in what she was doing. Then my other friend, she's the one who encouraged me to, to go to church, to seek God. She's the one who encouraged me to do that. And then after a while, I had to start encouraging her, to motivate her, to push her to do better. And, life started lifing her. And she just couldn't handle how life was like with her. And eventually she passed on. But I never, ever heard not one thing she said about me. I never heard one thing Kuda said about me. I stood up and talked at her funeral, and I was seeked out. Her children seeked me out to talk about her at her funeral, because they know what type of friend I was to her, and they know what type of friend she was to me. They know I'm the one she gonna call on, because the other one wasn't here. So they know she was gonna call on me. We got to be aware of our surroundings. We teach our children that. So the things that we're teaching our children and the things that we're saying to our kids, we got to start remembering that stuff too. We tell it to our children. Now we're telling it to our grandchildren. And even some of us, sometimes even we could still be young and be great grandparents. So, what we're telling them was told to us. And we experienced that. And, in my life right now, where I am 67 years old right now, I refuse. Oh, with somebody try to bring me something. And the first thing people say now, you know what? I start to tell you something, but I ain't going to tell you because I know you don't want to hear it. And sometimes, that old nosy old nature part of me wants to indulge. It wants to really indulge. Good morning, Marcella. I'm sorry. Good morning. It wants to indulge in that. But then I say, you know what? What am I going to get from this? What am I going to get from this? See, I question myself because see, I'm trying I'm trying to cut out that gossiping, and then I'm trying the people who are around me. And the people that I talk to, they say, well, I know you don't want to hear that, you want to hear this gossip. And sometimes it be so good that I have to catch myself. And I say, well, and sometimes I try to justify it and say, we ain't gossiping. We ain't gossiping. We're just talking. We're just talking. And see, gossiping for me is when you're talking bad about somebody behind their back and, trying to justify it, however you'd want to put it, just trying to justify it. And that thing kind of bothered me so bad yesterday. And then my spirit was saying, why are you getting all upset? Holy Spirit said, why are you getting all upset? You said it ain't true. And you know it ain't true. But I am not surprised as to what people will do. I'm not surprised at to what people will say because and my mom always used to say this. She said, Marita, you're not a very um you're not a very nice person. You're not a very compassionate person because I remember one time my mom my mama and a grown up was talking. No, my mom and my aunts and all of them was talking. And now I done graduated from high school. I done had a baby, I'm going to the community college, done had a baby and stuff like that. I'm the last one to have a baby. So somebody said that my aunt, my mom and my aunts and all them was talking about, said, well, they said that you said it, and my aunt said, well, I didn't say it. My aunt said, well, I didn't say it. So I'm just walking through and I'm saying to myself, and I'm thinking I'm mumbling under my breath, but I guess I said it loud for everybody to hear. I say, well, she said she didn't say it. She didn't say it. Don't matter who said she said it. She said she didn't say it. And that's all that matters. And then, my aunt and my mama look around at me and she said, you just like her. You act just like her. And I took that as a compliment. Because when people used to come to me and say, you said, somebody said, don't come telling me about what no somebody said. And then, we got it so bad now because we used to have like the rotary phones and the touch tone phones and all them, phones, and everybody in the house had a phone in their room and, different kind of stuff like that. So now we got the social media, we got the YouTube, we got the Facebook, we got the Instagram, we got the Thread, we got the X, we got the chat, we got the Snapchat. What is the Snapchat? What we got all kind of stuff. We don't communicate with people face to face. We like to get on the internet and start talking about what a person ain't did and what a person is doing. And then even with somebody getting up there talking about somebody else about what they doing, what they should be doing, and what they ought not to be doing. The internet ain't nowhere for you to grieve, to talk about your grievances towards somebody. If you want that person to know, call them up. Call them. Don't text them, call them so they can hear your voice and they can hear exactly what it is you're saying. Or if they live around the corner, I ain't gonna tell you to go to nobody's house and nothing like that. But you know what? If you got the number, call them. And I was just so dumbfounded about it. And then I had to, and after everything was over, and I said, you just got to consider where it's coming from. You really have to consider where it's coming from. And I asked the person, I said, well, how you feel? Well, I don't feel no type of way. I know what I need to do. And if you know what you need to do, just do that. I'm going to tell you, be careful. Even them bestest friends you grew up, you was born on the first and they was born on the second, and y'all played at the park together, went to kindergarten, graduated together, went to college, got married, had babies, and your babies and my baby friends and all of that. I'm gonna tell you, be careful. My great grandmother and my grandma always said, a dog that'll bring a bone will carry a bone. And I never understood what that would, I never understood that. And then, I thank God. I believe God has always been covering me. And even from a little girl, I think God has been enlightening me or illuminating me with some things I didn't understand at the time. And then as I grew up, I always felt different. I always felt not a part of, and I was always a thinker because I still love to read and I like to write. So I was always different. I'm an only child. So I had to learn how to entertain myself when my cousins wasn't around. And I didn't get to meet my cousins until like I was in the first grade until I was like 6 years old because I lived in Miami and I lived a total different life that I was born and raised in Miami. So even for as a little girl, I never hung out with little kids. I never did. My grandmother and my grandfather, they raised me until I was 6 years old, and my grandmother put me into this like back in the day the churches had the schools and the kindergarten and all that, and my grandma put me in that, and my godparents, I'm with them, so I'm always surrounded by adults. And I did have a young friend. I did play with other kids, but I always felt like I was different, y'all. And even growing up, I started like, like seeing stuff and didn't understand. Like I done been, I done seen this somewhere, but I can't remember where I saw it. I done heard this, but I can't remember where I heard it from. And it used to bother me so much because I was afraid to tell anybody. And then as I grew and I started reading more, and then I started listening to documentaries and stuff like that, and it was saying like deja vu. You might seen something and you never been to that place in my life, but I felt like I done been to this place at one time. And growing up, I isolated myself. I always had my cousins as my friend, and then I might have one or two friends, but I always made sure I always made sure I like to be quiet so I can observe. I like to be quiet so I can listen. I can hear what you're saying. I can hear what you're saying, but I like to listen at what you're saying. I like to observe your behavior. It's always have been like that with me. And I just don't try to figure people out. I just don't try to figure people out. And I'm gonna tell you, sometimes my daughter was going through a lot of stuff in high school, and one of her instructor, she was in ROTC, and one of the instructors in ROTC pulled her aside, and he asked her a question. He said, "Would you rather be a great leader or a great follower?" And so she pondered the question. So when she came home, she said, "Mom," she said, Sergeant Cutts had asked me a question. She said, "I want to see what your answer gonna be." I said, "Okay, what was the question?" She said, "Would I want to be a great follower or a great leader?" She said, "Which one would you rather be?" I said, "I would like to be a great follower at first." I said, because if you're a great follower who is ever in the lead, and if that's where you want to be in a leadership position, if you want to be captain, if you want to be lieutenant, whatever you want to be in ROTC, first you got to be a good follower. And being a good follower means that you follow directions, that you obey the rules. And I say being a good follower, so when it's time for you to lead, you'll know what to do, you know how to do it, you'll know not what to do, and what not. You'll know what to do and what not to do. You'll know how to treat people. You'll know how to talk to people. You know how to lead people. Because see, the only leader is as good as the people that's following him. And when people want to um, cause a coup, it's because the leadership. It's something wrong with the leadership. And so when you are in a position where if you're a commentator on a content creator on YouTube with a million gazillion followers, if you're a grandma, great grandma, if you're a supervisor on your job, if you're a teacher, if you're a leader in the church, if you're a leader in your community, just know somebody trying to pull you down from out that leadership role, and people will befriend you just for that. Oh, but we've been friends. That's been my friend for 25 years. Baby, I used to hear my grandma say, teeth and tongue fall out, but they come back together. And see, even in a friendship, when things have been, see, that's why you don't tell everybody everything. Because just like I say, everybody you call friend ain't friend. Ain't friend. See, because you could tell somebody your deepest, darkest secret and you think it's okay. You know, you good because that's my ace spoon coon. That's my ride or die right there. So that's why I make it clear to people. Don't call me your ride or die because I ain't dying. I ride with you now, but I ain't dying with you. You can pull over and put me out because I'm up out of here. I ain't riding with you, but I'm going to be down with you like four flat tires. I'm gonna be down with you like four flat tires till you go against something that's gonna be detrimental to me. Till you do something or tell me you getting ready to do something that is not conducive to what my character is all about. You're gonna be in this by yourself. And if I can't talk you out of it, baby, you could take that ride by yourself, or you could go pick up your die, pick up your rider, your dyer, that one who said, I'm a real rider dyer. I'm real. That's my ride or die right there. You pick that one up because I'm not the one for you, baby. Because I'm gonna try to talk you. I ain't scared, I ain't never scared. But see, the things that I've been through in life, life have taught me. Life has taught me. And that really kind of it didn't piss me off. It just made me wonder what type of person is this? What type of person would do what this person did? What kind of person is that? So we have to be mindful of the company that we keep. We have to be mindful of the people. Oh, that's, like little children. Always calling somebody their friend. Just met them be in Walmart, be in Target, be in Publix, be in Winn Dixon, be in whatever stuff. This is my friend. You just met them down the ice cream aisle. That's your friend. Be careful of the people that you calling friends. I don't care what you done did together. I don't care what you have done together. Because that friend gonna always tell about what you did. That friend gonna always tell about what you said. That friend ain't gonna say what they did, what we did together. Is always gonna be on you. So that was part of my day yesterday. And then my mind get back on my car. Lord, I got to go. Then I'm telling God, I'm trying to get my, Lord, get my mind off of that because it ain't nothing but garbage. It ain't nothing but something to keep you all discombobulated and all out of sorts and stuff like that. And then, for a person to go to the extent that this person went to, I said, Lord, the devil is a lie. No. And then I had a friend that called me, kind of had to shake me up a little bit. She was asking me all different kind of questions, and I was telling. And I said, you know what I'm getting ready to do? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take me a nice long hot shower. I'm gonna shampoo my hair, and I'm gonna give myself a facial. I'm gonna do my nails. I'm just gonna spend some time on me right now to shake myself loose from what it was that I'm feeling. Because I'm gonna tell you something. Before I lie on you or lie to you, I will leave you alone. You treat people how you want to be treated. That's right. I will leave you alone. I don't care how much a person dislike me. I ain't saying I ain't that good person, but I'm a good person. And people don't come to me to tell me what somebody said. Because I had to stop a young lady in church. What somebody told me, I said, don't tell me about what no somebody said, but I'm going to tell you who the somebody was who told you. And I called a person name, and she looked, and she didn't. The way she looked let me know that that was the person who said it. But then you know what? We was in a room. We were just sitting around talking. Everybody had something to say about that. Had something to say about that particular um, person. But the only person that was called out was me. And I don't know if she thought I was gonna bite down because we were standing in church when it was said. And I told her, I said, look, let me tell you something. Don't ever, I said, let this be the last time you come and tell me about what somebody said. And I said, I told you who the somebody was. I told her exactly what I said. I told her I wasn't the only person in the room. And I said, heard I heard that what that's what happened with you. I heard it from the other people that was in the room. And all I said was, that's what I heard. That's what I heard. But they went back and said that I said it. That person went back and said that I said it. So she come and asked me, well, somebody told. And see this, when you start doing this right here to me, I got an issue already. I got a problem with you already. But being that we were standing in the church, and I know if I had got loud or got rude or got nasty, but see, that's what they were expecting. Because I know she hadn't already told somebody else that she was going to confront me. See, God don't leave his children in the blind. God will give you a discerning spirit about something. And I felt her spirit because she was sitting behind me. And whenever I said something in Bible, we were at Bible study, and whenever I said something in Bible study, she would have something to say. So, I'm so dense at times because my focus is not on people. My focus don't be on people and what they going through and what they got to say. Cause see, they know if you say something to me, I'm saying something back to you, and we gonna do this. We gonna go backwards, and we could go backwards and forth all night long. And when you get tired, I still ain't tired. I'm still gonna say what I'm gonna say. So to one of us gonna give up and just shut up. So eventually, she this big supposed to be this big T, big I in church and stuff like this. So she got somebody said that you said that I said, first of all, Miss Ma'am, don't ever approach me with what somebody said. Let this be the last time you tell me when you got something to say to me and somebody else done told you. I said, don't come telling me about what somebody said, because somebody got a name. And when I called the name, she looked surprised. So, and I told her, I say, from now on, if you want to know, if you hear anything that I have said, come to me. I'm not a person that you cannot come and talk to me about what you heard that I said about you. So I said, I don't know what you want to do about it, and I don't know what you think you're trying to do about it by standing here in church talking about it. Because we could have took this outside of the church. Because the way my attitude is right now, it was going to be the same thing outside the church. I was going to tell you the same thing. So, and I let her know, don't you ever, ever, ever in your life think you going to shade me or shame me or come for me. I don't care where you at. Because wherever you are, you can get it. Just like that person could get it who told you. But do you know what I did? You know what I didn't do? I didn't go to that person and say, why you said I said that? I didn't do that. You know what? And I think it was my like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month after that, the pastor said, I want everybody in the church to go around and tell people you forgive them or ask them to forgive you. You know what I did? First, I went to my friend that passed away. I went to her and I told her that I forgive her for the things that she had done and how she turned on me for other people. I said, I forgive you for that. And she just cried, cried, cried. And then I went to the lady who told the girl that I said what everybody was in the room saying. I went to her and I looked at her and I said, I forgive you. And she looked at me. Yeah, I said, yeah, I forgive you. And just left it and walked away. And she grabbed me by the arm and hugged me because she know it was two things. She knew both of the things that I was saying that I forgive her for. So let me tell you the way I pick my friends. Let me tell you the way I handle my friends. I'm a very demanding friend because I demand the way that I treat you. I demand to be treated the same way. I'm gonna treat you with respect. I'm not whatever. When I'm gonna take up for you, when I feel like you're a friend, I'm gonna take up for you. But see, when I start seeing little things about you that I don't like, I'm gonna tell you I don't like it, and then I'm gonna separate myself. I'm gonna back up from the friendship. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that, and then like this how I pick mine. When I go to a store and I want shoes, I try the shoes on. That's the only thing I try on. I try on shoes. And if the shoe is it's gonna be too tight because it's a new shoe. And it ain't formed to my foot yet. So I'm gonna try the shoe on. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna walk around in it, and I'm gonna tap it. I'm gonna see if I got a lot of wiggle room. If I need to go up a size bigger, and if I have to go up a size bigger, I buy a half size bigger, or just go ahead on to another size so it could be comfortable. I like to be comfortable with my friends. I like to feel safe with my friends. I like to feel like whatever I do tell you, you gonna take it to the grave. I don't care how mad you be at me. You gonna take it to the grave because see that's what I'm gonna do about you. Because when I'm not friends with, if I walk away from a friendship, I am done with it. I'm whatever happened, good, bad, or indifference, I'm done with it. For me, like you don't talk to me, if and I say, well, what's going on? What happened? Enlighten me about what happened. And you still giving me your behind the kiss, baby. I ain't never like the ass part of nothing. I don't even eat the butt part of the chicken. So what make you think I'm gonna kiss your behind to be your friend? I ain't never did that. I'd rather be by myself in the Sahara Desert on the hottest day ever before I kiss somebody's ass trying to be their friend. That's not me. That's not me. And the people who know me know that's not me. So my daughter said, "Mom, it's hard being your daughter. It's I know it's hard being your friend because it's hard being your daughter sometimes." And I didn't understand that because what I expect from people is not always what I get. So I just, don't even bother with that anymore. And if I'm friends with someone and we break out of friends, we that friendship, and there's a weak link in that friendship, I don't want to be bothered with that no more. I could be cordial to you. I can even sit down with you, but it ain't no going to the movies, ain't no going shopping, it ain't going drinking. You ain't coming to my house, and I most definitely not coming to yours. But I ain't got nothing bad to say about you. It's gonna be You're gonna have to ask her. I don't know. To keep my hands clean. So we have to be careful and be mindful of the people that we call friends. You got to stand up for yourself. I'm an only child, so I had to learn how to stand up for myself at an early age, and especially living in Miami. Oh my God. But living in the part of Miami that I lived in wasn't bad, but just going over to Liberty City, going over to Goose, going over to Prime, going over to Homestead, going over to Coconut Grove, and even when I moved in when I started living with my mama, it was a culture shock, and I had to learn how to adjust. And by growing up in Miami, even as a little girl, I had to learn how to. My grandma and my granddad and my godparents, they made sure I knew how to defend myself. And then when I got around my great grandma, that was a whole different game being around that woman right there. That's the woman I'm named after. And I believe that's the attitude that, you know, the name, the attitude, all of that. My aunt, my great grandma. So I had to learn how to not only defend myself physically, but I had to learn how to defend myself mentally because people will befriend you because of who you are and what you have. And you could be that person that is always a giver. You're a helper. You want to help people. You want to see people do better. And you're that person. And people take advantage of you. People take advantage of you when you like that. But no, know what? Don't stop being that way. If you are a giver or a lover of people, continue to be a giver and a lover of people, because you know what? The heavens smile about that. And believe this right here. I'm gonna tell you something. When a person do something to a person of God, a child of God, when a person do something to a good person, when a person do something to somebody who's been there for them, who don't walk through hell with them, and done what y'all call it, windmill for them, and they take trips, they do all kind of stuff together, and that person betray you. Betrayal is hurtful, and it cuts deep, and it leaves a scar, and it makes you not want to be a lover of people anymore. It makes you not want to be a helper of people anymore. And sometimes it would make you want to revert back to that old nature, because just like people know how I used to be, and they look at me now, and but I know how she used to be. And I say to them, and don't you ever forget it. Don't let the Bible that I carry, don't let the times you see me crying and thanking God, don't ever let that fool you, sweetheart. Don't ever, ever let that fool you. It ain't me reverting back to my old self, because I'm very conscious of that. You know, I'm aware of what I can do. I'm aware of the power that I have. I'm aware of this little thing right here. I don't have to physically hit you to hurt you. I can cut you down as low as dirt. You talk about well, they go low. I'm going to hell, baby. I could take you to the crust, to the deep, deep pits with this. But that's not my choice anymore. What it hurt people more. And is this a hard thing to do? I'm gonna tell you, this is what I'm getting ready to say right now. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. Let people talk. If they don't come and do this right here, and if they don't do that right there, let them talk. Because you can't stop them from talking. Because we live in a country where you can say what you want to say about who you want to say it, how you want to say it, and when you want to say it. You could get up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and say what you want to say, about somebody. And nobody can stop you from talking about nobody. But sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. That's a lie. Words do hurt. Words do hurt. And sometimes they hurt worse than sticks and stones, because sticks and stones, that pain, it would dissipate. It'll go away. It'll go away. Physically, it'll go away. It might leave a scar. Get you some cocoa butter, some shea butter, and rub on it. 4 to 6 weeks, that scar be done disappeared and it'll be gone. But with some words that somebody say about you, that mentally, they're in your mental. They're in your mental. And then when it's in your mental, it began to hurt your heart, because you said, I couldn't believe they would say that. I just couldn't believe. I just couldn't believe. But I'm gonna tell you, start believing. Because it ain't no perfect human being walking this earth. How you gonna be perfect in an imperfect world? How are you gonna be perfect in an imperfect world? So to avoid being hurt, try your friends, but try people before you call them friends. Good morning. Good morning. I am her, and I'm just talking and ain't two Leo boy mamas. Mama, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for being here, Lady B, driving and listening. Sorry for the, hey, girl, we don't care about no misspelling, because we do it all the time. I know I do it all the time, so I can't care about that. Bring all parties involved to the front of the classroom so somebody can say what they said and didn't say. Amen, amen, and amen again. One for the Father, one for the Son, and one for the Holy Spirit. So, that kind of perturbed me yesterday. It threw me for a loop to where I really couldn't I couldn't focus the first part of the morning because it wasn't what the person, the phone call, it wasn't about what had happened to the person that made me so discombobulated that got me all out of sort. It was the person that did what they did. That's I'm trying to figure out what type of person is this. Um, what kind of man would do something like that? And I stopped, and at some point during the day, I stopped. I say, Lord, I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm not gonna even try to figure it out. I said that's one of your creations right there. That is one of your creations. And only you know the whole story. I don't know. And I said, I don't want to know the whole story. I said, but I'm going to tell you this right here. That is a depraved individual. That is a person that like understanding, has no moral compass at all. Don't care about anything or anyone. So that type of person, I could never be friends with. I couldn't be friends with somebody like that when I was in the street. I had I did have some coof about myself in the street. I did have some boundaries that I would not cross. I would not cross and I would not allow anyone else to cross if you wanted to. There's stipulations in being my friend. There's stipulations in being my friend. And that's why I don't have a lot of friends. It ain't no rules and no regulations, but there are some stipulations. And I don't need nobody to take up for me. I can take up for myself. But I don't never want to be friends with somebody that it is so comfortable when they're not around me and they're around other people. It's so comfortable for other people to feel comfortable and at ease talking about me to somebody who's supposed to be my friend. I have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that person who said anything about me. I have a problem with that friend that come back and tell me what that person said. Now, my question for that friend is how in the hell did them feel that comfortable to talk about me to you? Because there had to be a conversation that already had conversations that had already been had between you and them, those people. And they felt comfortable enough to say the things about me that they said. And you didn't say nothing. Well, I just said, I just said what I said, and that's all I said. You not my friend. And I ain't never scared to tell nobody. You ain't my friend. You ain't never been my friend. And don't even care how they take it. Don't even care how they take it. Because at the end of the day, the 24 hours in the day, it do not go over. It ain't we ain't had 25 hours. You can't well, I work 48 hours. That means you work one day, 24 hours Monday, and you work 24 hours Tuesday. See, when 12 o'clock AM come, we starting a whole new cycle. It's a whole new day. So at the end of the day gonna end. And then another day is gonna begin. So you have to be mindful. We tell our children, be mindful of the company that you keep. My grandma, your mama done told you, sleep with dogs, you're gonna get fleas. If they got fleas, you're gonna get fleas. Birds of a feather flock together. You done heard all of those little things. And if I, as a child, when I was growing up, now my friend Linda, I told y'all about the girl who was my best friend. Linda had me pouring sugar all over the floor when I mopped the floor, and it was almost time for my mama to come home, and the floor still wet. And I'm putting this girl tell me put sugar on the floor, and I'm putting sugar all over the floor to get. I'm thinking that'll get the floor dry. It just made the floor sticky. And then when my mama come home now, I don't know how to get it unsticky unless I put more water on it. And my mama come home from work, and then my mama get mad at me and telling Linda, you go home. And then my mama had, I think I was in the fourth grade. And my mama said, you know what, Marita, you stop listening to that girl. Cause that girl gonna keep getting you in trouble. She's gonna keep getting you in trouble the more you listen to her. And you know what? My mama wasn't wrong. My mama wasn't wrong about Linda. She wasn't wrong about Linda. And Linda, I considered Linda to be my best friend. I consider her to be my best friend. And let me tell you how I found out she wasn't my best friend. When I left for the summer, to go somewhere for the summer, I went to stay with my grandmother for the summer, one summer. And my cousin had said, you know, Linda, my cousin had been telling me about Linda liked the boy that I was with and stuff like that. So I said, no, no, she ain't like that. That's my friend. That's my friend. And my cousin said, yes, she do, girl. Yes, she do like you. She like it. No, that's my friend. You know, that's my friend. Then my mom decide, okay, I want you to stay here. I got some stuff going on. There's some things going on. I need you to be here with your grandma for a school year. So I said, hey, I ain't had no choice in it. So I had to be there. So when I moved back with my mom and Linda had got pregnant for my boyfriend. She had got pregnant for my boyfriend. And Linda began to do little things and say anybody that I would be in a relationship with, anybody I'd be friends with, she would try to take the friendship or she would try to take the boyfriend. And I started wondering about that. And so me and my cousins was sitting on the front porch of my grandfather's mom, Grandma Rehouse. And we was talking and they didn't the friend didn't know that I know what she was telling my cousin. And so when my cousin friend left, I say she was talking about Linda, was she? And she was talking about what was going on. I said, I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid. And even then God would let me see things. He would illuminate me. He would enlighten me on things. And when God started enlightening you and shining the light on things, pay attention. Because in friendships that done broke up, God was giving you some warnings about that friendship a long time. And you just didn't want to take heed, even in a marriage, even in a relationship. um God show you, God give you, say, show me a sign. God will show you a whole lot of stuff. He'll give you a collage. And it's up to you if you pay attention to it and you recognize it and see it, what it's for. And then you know how to conduct yourself. You'll know how to move. And I just said, even with Linda, when she did all of that, and I started seeing how this girl never was my friend. She never was my friend, and it was hurtful, but I saw it for what it was. I saw it for what it was and was still able to, on her birthday every year, March 4th is her birthday, and text her happy birthday. And October the 20th comes, she texts me happy birthday, and that's it. We don't do that no more till the next year. And then when we see someone, when we see each other now, and I look at her and I look at me, and I be saying, damn, what happened? What happened? And to hear all the things that has been going on in her life, and I be saying, well, Lord, what happened? What happened? And then when people see me, girl, you still look the same. You look just like you did. I say, well, that's a lie, but I accept it. I would accept it. So what I'm saying, y'all, this morning I was listening to a song. A song popped up in my head, dressing up room. And it said, you got to get to heaven from right down here. Don't think you can mistreat people. Don't think you can frustrate and aggravate and humiliate and betray people and thinking you going to heaven because you could quote a scripture, because you could talk about God, because he sit high and look low, and God don't play about me. God don't play about none of his children. But what you do on earth is going to determine if you're going to make that trip to heaven. So the song says, this is the this is the dressing up room down here, down here, down here. This is the dressing up room down here. You got to get to heaven from right down here. See, the Bible tell you who ain't going to heaven. Liars, cheaters, you people who use people, people who abuse people. You know, the Bible will tell you who ain't getting there. So this is a rehearsal. This is the dressing up room. This is a stage to let you know how you dealing with people and how you dealing with life and the issues of life, how you dealing when life is lifing, when people coming against you, when things coming against you. Your attitude determines your latitude. If you got a messed up attitude, you ain't gonna get too far in life. If you got a nasty attitude on your job, they're gonna call you into the office. And gonna say whatever. I appreciate you, a good worker. However, but and let you go because of your attitude. Your attitude determines your latitude. And the only way you gonna get to heaven, you got to start here. So all that's why I say the gossiping, the backbiting, talking behind people, bite, trying to hurt people, trying to start mess, keep mess going, don't see no good in nothing. Always gotta be first, always gotta be better, always throwing shade, and then you talking about God. When you have a relationship with God, you have a different talk, you have a different walk, you have a different outlook on life. And you're a helper, not a destroyer. You don't destroy people with your tongue, with your actions. You don't do that. You just don't do that. So, I haven't even started talking about what I read this morning because that was just so on me. Be mindful of the people that you call friend. Be very mindful of who you allow. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm about to end. And I think that's where I got it from. My great grandma didn't allow people to her house. If you did not call her, I don't care if you passing right by my great grandma's house going to the store. And you say, let me see how Marika doing today. Because my grandma leave you out there on the door knocking and she could be sitting the way her house was made, like the big house, and then she had like a porch, but the porch was like screened in. And you could sit out on that porch and you could see with the glass, with the windows and stuff like that. So you could sit and see who passing by, and who turning in your driveway and stuff like that. And if you didn't call her, she'll let you sit there and knock till your knuckles raw. Cause when Marita came to your house, but you just popped in. I don't like pop-ins. So let's be mindful of the company that we keep. Be mindful of what you tell everybody, because you can't tell everybody everything. There's some things that it's got to be between you and God. It's got to be between you and God. And don't ever stop being a lover of people. Don't ever stop being a helper, being a helper. Never stop being a good person. Don't let what somebody did stop you from being a good person. Don't stop let what somebody said stop being a good person. If you are a giver, give to the people that be selective in your giving. Be selective in how much you're giving and be selective of who you are giving it to. And while that person is asking you for help, be praying and ask God to not to show you, ask God to give you that discerning spirit because a person will lie to you in your face about needing money for a specific reason, or needing help for a specific reason. And the next thing you know, you looking on Facebook, you looking on Instagram, and look. I just bought. Look at the purse I just bought. Look at the shoes I just bought. Yeah, I'm going on a trip. If you got trip, you got trip money, then you got rent money. That's just the way I feel about things. That's just the way I feel about things. So look, be ever so mindful of the company that you keep and all those little things that you used to tell your children about their friends. Start telling it to yourself. Sometimes when I'm going, yesterday I was trying to figure out, Lord, oh Lord Jesus. Now, Lord, I'm a diva on a budget. I'm a diva on a budget. And you know what I need to do. You know what I gotta do. Lord, you even know the wants that I want. And you make it possible for me to have some of my wants, but all my needs are provided. I'm provided for, but when little things like the car, when little things like that appear, it shakes me. And then I start be saying, oh Lord, what is I'm gonna do? What is I'm gonna do, Lord? And then I start talking to God, and God sometimes feel like he's not listening because nothing is moving, nothing is shaking, nothing is happening. So God say, take that car to the mechanic. You know Roger. You know what Roger gonna do for you. You know how Roger gonna do it. But however, you know what I'm gonna do for you. So I'm not worried about Ruby being fixed because Ruby gonna be fixed in the name of Jesus. Ruby gonna get done what needs to be done. So I'm adamant about that. I'm very adamant about that. And all I'm gonna tell you, keep your hand in the hand of the man that parted the Red Sea. Keep your hand in the hand of the man that stood on the waves, at stood on the boat and spoke to the wind and the waves and said, peace, be still. Continue to look at the man that fed the hungry souls, 5,000 plus hungry souls with 2 fish and 5 barleys of bread. Look at the man that turned the water into wine, made the blind to see, made the lame to walk, made the deaf to hear. See, that's what I'm keeping my focus on. Psalms 121, verse 1 says, I will look unto the hills from which for my help comes from. Keep looking towards the hills from which for your help comes. Whatever you're going through, God got you. He know you. He know the beginning before the beginning begun. He know you before you was ever created. Before you was even formed in your mother's womb. He know you. He knew you back then. He know you now. He know your future. He know your future. So stop looking to people for validation. Stop looking to people that you know is not capable of giving you the understanding and the love and the wisdom that you need. Stop looking to those type of people because you ain't gonna get it. You're gonna only disappoint yourself. See, because being betrayed, it hurts. It hurts. But y'all know I don't give nothing but 72 hours. And after 72 hours, this is a done deal for me. It is a done deal for me. So just for today, just be mindful. Just, just be mindful and just be true to you. Be true to yourself. Because see, you're gonna go out of your way not to disappoint you. I don't care who disappoints you. It's up to you to accept that disappointment and deal with it the way that you're going to deal with it. If you're going to wallow and be pitiful about it, then you wallow and be pitiful about it. But then if you say, well, I got to look at the person that's saying it, I got to look at the person that's doing it. And then when you look at that, you go like, child, boo. Look at the person it's coming from. It's just that simple. And as always, my ending is just like AKA always say, make it a great day no matter what, and smile. You have a beautiful smile. And this is the day that the Lord has made. The God made this day just for you. You gonna let somebody come in your day and upset your day? You better than me. You better than me, because I ain't giving nobody that kind of power over me. Because power, you have the power to make it whatever kind of day you want it to be. You have the power to make it be how you want it to be. So don't let someone else take your power by allowing what they say, what they do to hurt you. Because it only hurts when you allow it to hurt. When you give your power over to someone else, you're allowing them to be the thermostat and you be the thermometer. The thermostat sets the temperature. The thermometer tell you what the temperature is. The thermostat tell you what your temperature going to be. You going to be 99 degrees or you going to be 72 degrees. You set the temperature for that. That means you be in control of you. Don't let nobody play with, don't play those mind games, and definitely don't do no tongue wrestling with nobody. Because who woke you up? The alarm clock didn't. Who woke you up to see morning conversations this morning? The alarm clock didn't. You think it did because you heard it. Who gave you ears to hear, a mouth to speak, a tongue to speak, eyes to see? Think about it as you go through the day. Just think about it. And then take your power back. Take your power back. And one day, soon and very soon, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it soon and very soon. We're going to talk about it because this is the dressing up room down here. You can't get to heaven. You got to get to heaven from right down here. It starts down here, determines which direction you're going, up or down. And that's your choice. That's your choice. So in the meantime, in between time, when you see me in them YouTube streets, holler at me. I'll holler back. Peace out, deuces. And today is Wednesday, November. Today is Wednesday, March the 26th, 2025. It's a great day to be alive. It's a great day to be alive. Because this day, we'll never see this day again. When 12 o'clock come tonight, this day is over and done with. It'll be a new day. But live through this day. Let God will be done this day. And that blessing you waiting on, today just might be the day. That thing that you've been praying and asking God for, today just might be the day. So hang in there and have the best day ever. I'll holler. Then holler back at me. Bye.